Hey friend, I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to share with you my rants of the week. And what I mean by rants of the week are themes that have come up over and over and over again in one-on-one coaching calls, mastermind, small group calls, sales or recruiting webinars or calls, just over and over again. And I feel like you would benefit from a few rants on, talking about what things might be. Like, we need to stop taking wrong advice and look at what is true. So here we go. Rant number one is on the zone of acceptance. This is around the myth that setting high goals will make you more successful than if you are setting low goals. There's no research that supports that, at least not anything that I read in my over 20 years of sales leadership or performance management. What there is significant research on is a concept called the zone of acceptance. And the way the zone of acceptance works is that we have a certain belief system on what we believe is possible. So let's say my zone of acceptance is like this, right? This is the bad side. This is the good side. I can operate in this zone of acceptance. So if I set a goal that is like right here on the inside of my goal zone of acceptance, I'll be like, I can do that, and I'll take action toward it. If I set a goal that is outside my zone of acceptance, then my mind will actively reject it and I will go the opposite direction. This is why, the shame around should your goals be bigger? If I'm setting low goals, does that mean that I'm not thinking big enough and that's going to sabotage my success? In the performance world, you don't see a really big difference between people that achieve their goals and people that don't achieve their goals on the construction of the goal. It is actually whether or not that goal creates actions and processes. So here's a good way to figure out if your goal is a good goal or not. When you think about the goal, does the goal inspire you to action, or does the goal put you into inaction? And if it puts you into inaction, it is the wrong goal. It's likely outside of your zone of acceptance or just not specific enough. If it's a goal that inspires action, it's probably within your zone of acceptance, which means you'll start to move into action. And what's really cool is your zone of acceptance can move higher and higher and higher. And so, as a practical example, if people are like, you need to enroll 10 customers a month, that's a great goal. But if it's outside of your zone of acceptance, you'll actively reject it. Let's say something that feels more confident is 5 new customers a month. And so that becomes the goal, and you move towards that because it's within your zone of acceptance. And then you do that again this month, and then you do it again next month. Well, then what happens is your zone of acceptance, you're like, I just got 5 new customers in 2 months. And your zone of acceptance moves and now pushes to, I think I might be able to do 8, but you believe it. And so you go into action. And then you do that a couple times. And then, right, that 10 new customer a month goal starts to feel a lot better. Why do goals matter so much? Goals matter because when we are pursuing them, we serve more customers. We help more people figure out their problems, solve their problems, and move forward in life. When we don't have goals and it's just like whatever happens, happens, then we're not moving into action. We're not reaching out. We're not finding problems. We're not solving them. And nobody wins, right? And so that's why having goals within your zone of acceptance is really, really important. Not to set goals based on should. I was coaching someone in our sales course on Wednesday who was having a hard time with goals. And she had not had new customers this past month or the month before. And so we set a goal for new customers. And I knew that in our curriculum, she wouldn't get to the recruiting part until most of the month was done. And so I said, let's focus on customers this month, get you some mojo. And I actually zeroed out the recruiting goal for her. And I could see her whole body shift, because if I were to say you're going to enroll 4 or 6 people, I don't remember what it was, this month and recruit builders, it would have popped outside of her zone of acceptance. But if she does this exercise again next month, what she's more likely to do if she sees some success, then she might put one on there because she might see it and it'll be within her zone of acceptance. So that's rant number 1. Rant number 2, you are not the hero. We're going to talk a little bit about savior complex today. And a lot of the questions around sales are like, how can I make sure my customer knows how awesome my product is? And I think we're starting with the wrong question. Now, I do see that comes from a great place. You're like, the product helps people, the product helps people, the company helps people, I help people. That sounds a lot actually like savior complex. So here's a concept from Donald Miller. The book is Story Brand. I read it a long time ago, and this has been a fan favorite this week. If your product line is the hero, that makes the customer the damsel in distress. And damsels in distress are not empowered. They don't feel good. They're not hopeful, right? It's just like, you're the hero. You come in and save them. The other way to look at sales and your business and what it is that you do is the customer is the hero. The dragons are their problem. So you have this hero and these scary dragons, and they need to slay the dragons, but they don't know. That makes you the guide and the product is the tool, because this impacts the way we speak to people, the way we interact with people. Because if we think we're the hero, we're going to be pushy because we're going to be like, you need me to save you. Right? Like the damsel in distress doesn't invite the hero up. The hero's just like, I'm going to climb this wall. I'm going to pull you out of this tower. Right? It's not a great look. But if the customer is the hero and we are the guide, right? We have to see, is the product the tool or is the customer the tool? And this changes the way we talk to people, and this changes the way we're received. And so the customer is the hero, you are the guide, the product is the tool, and their problems are the dragons. So we need to figure out what are the dragons and what tools are going to help them defeat the dragons. Change this attitude, it's going to change your business. The third rant of the week is about anti-MLM sentiment. What about all the people out there? I can't recruit because all the people are anti-MLM. Well, that's not exactly true. There's tons of stats that show that millions of people in the US are involved in an MLM. What we are looking for are the people who are open-minded. But there's a few different sides to this. The first is your sales process. If your sales process is high pressure, pushy, tons of follow-up, and low conversions, then why would somebody want to do that? That's one. Second, the way we approach people is going to build trust, compassion, stability, and hope, or not. And the problem is that a lot of the approaches in the industry, their communication is such that the product is the hero, not the customer is the hero. And that doesn't make people feel good. We need to make sure that the way we communicate establishes trust, compassion, stability, and hope. If we change the sales process, that, or the way we interact with people, that will change people's mind more than whether or not MLM is good or bad. MLM is just a business model, no different than franchising. What I do, a coaching practice, a service-based business, a product-based business, an e-commerce business, right? It's a business model. And whether or not it is good or bad depends on how the individual business owner operates the business, right? We've all been to a taco shop that is nice and clean and delicious and all those things. And then we've been places that feel kind of sketchy and not sure how I'm going to feel at the end of this. It's not the taco shop that is the problem. It is the fact that one taco shop establishes trust, compassion, stability, and hope, and the other does not. And the third side to this anti-MLM sentiment issue is to understand this is not about you. This is about something that happened previously that has left a bad taste in their mouth. And so if you want to establish trust, compassion, stability, and hope, and someone says, is this an MLM? Or they're skeptical or maybe a little bit not as positive. Instead of looking at it as the fact that they just hurt you, I think we need to look at it as someone hurt them. And the response would be, I'm so sorry, what happened? because there's a story there. People don't just come out of the womb anti-MLM. Something has happened, and we need to seek to understand before seeking to be understood. Otherwise, we're just another person perpetuating the same factor in their lives. So those are my rants for the week. I hope that you found them helpful. They shifted the way you look at things a little bit differently. We want you to be the type of salesperson and leader that you can be proud of, that the way you run your business increases your credibility and reputation. The way you run your business helps you to feel more confident about what you can achieve. The way you run your business changes people's minds about what the industry does. And this all comes down to how we communicate. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk soon.